And we continue now with Good Day Rochester. An RIT professor is using new technology to help children around the world. 13WAM's Jim Madalinsky got an inside look at a group called e-NABLE.
Yeah, they're using 3D printers to open up new possibilities for children in need. Take a look.
This doesn't look like much now, but after just a few hours in this printer, the finished product takes shape. They're prosthetic arms and hands, and John Scholl is making them to give away.
You want to make a difference where you can, and this turned out to be a place to do it.
The group is called e-NABLE. They make and assemble the prosthetics using a 3D printer. Scholl first heard about the idea a year and a half ago and immediately started setting up a network online.
People say, I need a hand. People say, I can make a hand. We help bring them together.
From the printer to kitchens all over the world, e-NABLE is helping kids like Lucy, who's still learning to use her new skill set.
There's strings that all the way that make the fingers bend.
Lucy was born without a left wrist or hand, but that all changed a few weeks ago.
I'm actually really happy because stuff I couldn't do before I can do now.
The Santangelos live in Greece. They looked into prosthetics a few years ago, but it was a little out of their price range.
And they said they ranged anywhere from $20,000 to $40,000.
That's where John Scholl and e-NABLE came into play this summer.
He explained to her that she would be a pioneer and that pioneers try new things out and, they give feedback on, what works well and what's not working so well and how things can be improved.
Each prosthetic takes about 12 hours to make and costs around $50. Student volunteers putting in a few extra hours allows them to cover the costs.
Just seeing the smile on the face really does it all.
And with hundreds of happy customers already, e-NABLE is hoping more smiles are on the way.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Love that.
Wow.
More smiles along the way. We have some examples here on the table of what we're talking about. And by the way, the CDC says 1 out of every 1,500 children in the U.S. is born with some sort of upper limb abnormality. e-NABLE now has more than 20 variations of their prosthetics. So you can read more about the group by heading to 13wam.com. Part of that group, Emily Sanseverino, RIT student, joining us now to talk more about this, what really is an amazing project.
Yeah, we're fascinated. So tell us all about this. These were made by that 3D printer that you are working with as part of e-NABLE, right?
Mm-hmm. So we use Ultimaker 2s. They have a build plate about this big. It takes about 12 hours to print a hand.
Okay, can you show us?
So a 3D printer is basically just a giant glorified glue gun. It shoots out colored plastic, and it shoots it out in really, really small layers that build up over time, and then create something like this. So each of these individual pieces is printed separately.
Wow.
And then we, as volunteers in a lab, or someone who's receiving the hand, or someone who's making it for another person, then assembles these pieces.
Can you show us how it works, though? I mean,
So the general rule, the phrase that goes around is bend your wrist and make a fist. So the wrist would go right in here. Any residual parts of the arm are in here, arm and any palm, wrist. And then as you bend, the fingers come in, and so you could grab things. I've actually seen people with these prosthetic who use it like a normal hand, so if they're talking, the fingers might flex a little bit too.
Really? So they can control the movement of this. And there's even some, there's like some, they're like grippies, right? On the end of each finger. To help them pick up a glass or turn a page.
It really helps with friction.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So the cost of the normal prosthetic, $20,000. The cost of this, $50. It is a gigantic cost difference. What's the difference in quality?
Well, this is made out of plastic, and we heat it up to about 200 degrees Celsius when we're melting it to print out. So if you were to heat it up or something, we tell people not to cook near hot pans. Most people who use this, users don't wear it all day like they might with a normal prosthetic. It's just for several hours a day. Lucy, for instance, takes it to school. She was really excited to do that, which was great to hear.
So there's some limitation, But by and large, if people cannot have this technology, to be able to even have this, they're so happy to have it.
Well, one of the greatest things about this hand is that, for instance, for a girl like Lucy, who's only 7 years old, she's still growing.
Yeah.
So for her parents to dish out $20,000 to $40,000
That's a great point.
just to have to get a new one in a couple years is a lot.
Yeah.
So this serves as something that is either in the meantime that is a lot cheaper as they're growing, and if they like it, who knows, maybe they don't want that $40,000 prosthetic later in life and they just stay with this.
Emily, you are incredible. Can I ask what you want to do one day? We've got about a minute left, or less than a minute. What do you want to do one day with your career? I mean, here you are volunteering to do this. What's next for you?
So I'm a biomedical engineering student, and what I really want to do in the future is tissue engineering and helping people regenerate skin for burn victims, or maybe even new hands for people in the future. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
Wow.
We need more people like you.
We need more people like this lady right here. Thank you so much, Emily.
We'll get a 3D printer to recreate Emily.
I know. Can we recreate her? Yeah. Thank you so much. Good luck with e-NABLE.
Yeah, absolutely.